All right, today we're going to be setting up a sublimation printer for an Epson Ecotank 2850. We'll be converting this printer right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please turn on all post notifications. Okay, so here's the printer. It is an Ecotank 2850. And this is the sublimation ink I'm using. I'll be using Hippo ink, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And this is the sublimation paper that I'll be using. So the first thing I'm going to do, take it straight out of the box without putting any of the ink that came in there with it. I'm going to load the sublimation ink before I even set up the printer. So that is the very first thing I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to take all of the plastic off of it. Make sure you remove all of the packaging while you're unboxing it, and so that you can get near the Ecotank and be able to fill the ink correctly. So now that I've taken all of the paper in it, this is a basic printer, and we want to make sure that we use only sublimation ink. So I have not read any of the directions, so let me read it out. So now that I've unpacked it, I'm going to connect the cord, but I'm not going to connect anything to a device or anything at this point. Then I'm going to fill the ink tank up. I'm going to raise this is the tank here, and I am going to raise this part here, and there's where our ink goes in the Ecotank right here. So I'm going to start with the blue, then the red, then the yellow, then the black. Okay, now I'll be taking the ink out of the box. This is Hippo ink, sublimation ink. You can use any kind you want. As I took it out of the box, please don't touch that ribbon that you see right there, or you'll get some kind of a printer error while you're setting up your printer. It gives me two blacks, a blue, a red, and a yellow. So it looks similar to the ink that came with it, but I just took the ink all the way out, so I don't even want to put that in there, because to sublimate, you only can use sublimation ink. Instead of trying to convert an old printer, I chose to buy an Ecotank because it just seemed very easy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the blue. I'm going to take this off, and this is supposed to be a click. There's no nozzles or anything that you have to pour in. I'm supposed to be able to just flip it up and click it in. So let's see if I can do that. I'm a little nervous. Oh, I'm also supposed to wear gloves. So it has this right here, and that has a little nozzle. And let's see if I can just get it to click, and it shouldn't spill at all. And it's going in there. I hear it going in there. And I can see right here on the side here, it's filling up. So we'll let the blue fill up, and then we'll go from the blue to the magenta. And I'll do the magenta, then the yellow, and then the black. At this point, I began to put the black in there, and you'll need to be careful with the top and input. Make sure you put it in there straight. So I'm just simply putting in the red, and you'll see I almost took the entire top off. So start with the nozzle at the very top, and that should be a big help. And make sure you hear that click as you put it in each time, and it should work out just fine. See, right there on the side, it is going inside there, and it will stop on its own. So I've got the blue and I've got the red. All right, so I continue to put each color in. Then the yellow. The yellow kind of dripped a little slow. I don't know if it was the actual bottle that I had, so it took up a little bit of time for the yellow to go into the tank, and I kind of shook it around to make sure that it was actually going into the tank. The next one I ended up doing was the black one once the yellow was completed. So I'm kind of shaking it right now just to make sure. So now I'm going to put the black in there, and the black seemed to go in just fine. It was pretty smooth. I keep saying blue, but it's called cyan. That's called cyan. This one is called yellow. This one is, I knew the name of this one. This one is magenta, and the regular one is black. So it is done putting all of the ink in the cartridges. That was pretty simple. So all you have to remember is that you need a clicking noise. And there's no spill. These tops are wonderful. Nothing spilling out. There was no using a syringe or anything like that. So that worked perfectly. I still have a full bottle left, and I'll simply put all of these back in the box that they came in. So when it gets low, I'm able to just top off the ink that's inside of the tank. All right, so now I am going to close each one up. And they snap really easy. This top lifts really easy as well. And it goes right back down. Okay, now I am going to set up this printer, and then once I set up my printer, connecting it to the Wi-Fi, I will come right back, and then we'll try and maybe test it out with our heat press. So the things that you need are, you need your ink, the sublimation ink. You need an Epson Ecotank or an Epson printer that you can convert to with your sublimation. You need, I would suggest a brand new printer. So you need a brand new printer. It made it really simple for me. And pretty much all we need now is to set up the printer, come back, and then we'll talk about the heat press and the type of paper that we're going to use. Okay, so we're ready for setup. I'm going to start here with English. Okay, and it says finish using Epson Smart Panel app, and I'm going to say yes. So you had to download an app in order to do that. And then they have a QR code, which we don't need that. All right, because we've already done that. All right, so we're going to go next. It wants me to go back. As you see, I tried to press the screen. This printer does not have a panel to press on it. It is a cheaper version. You have to use the buttons to push around and navigate around to set each item. So inside of the app, it asks me to connect it and set it up, and I've done that. And it asks me if I'm sure, and I'm quite sure. So that's a bunch of questions, and then it asks you to wait, and hopefully it says get your ink ready, and it says continue. We'll guide you step by step to continue, and I'm continue. Before we start, make sure you follow the rules. Don't stay in front of the printer, and don't turn the printer off while setting it up. So we're gonna need probably a piece of paper in order to do this. All right, so I'll be right back. So it's setting up the printer, and it's scanning, and it tells me not to turn the printer off in case you get stuck somewhere. So just leave it on. As it goes through the app, it's telling me what to do. It wants me to lift it up. Let's let this down. And I gotta lift it up here. And then it's asking me. So basically at this point, I just sort of followed the instructions and made sure that there was nothing in there to check for any packing paper or tape in there, and closed it down. So now at this point, you just follow the steps in the app and follow each step, and it is doing the ink installation process, and you just wait for it. This process is going to take you about 25 to 30 minutes to do. All right, so this took me a little time. It finally started initializing the Wi-Fi. It says it takes about 10 minutes from this point. So it's going to make a bunch of noise when you're doing this. And before it wasn't giving me anything. It's telling me to proceed with ink installation. So I've already done that. And now it's checking for ink. So it's doing this thing pretty much. This took me 20 minutes to read it again and try to reconnect. And now I'm on the last 10 minutes. So yeah, don't be alarmed. It's gonna do that for a minute where it starts making all these noises. And it says it's initializing. Just let it do its thing and just wait for it to initialize the setup and follow the things through the app or the website. Right now I've gotten to this part right here where it says adjust the print head to get the best quality. I'm gonna say yes. And then it's gonna ask me to print and check the print quality. And I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. Hopefully I loaded it right. It wanted me to watch a video. It says load paper, letter paper, A4. Size plain paper. No, we don't want that kind of paper. This is an 8x10. That's still letter paper, but it's not an
So
A4.
at this point, I just chose the correct paper size and let it continue to initialize and go through the process of setting up. So we still had a little time and a little ways to go with it.
This is the print button right here. That one down there. So I'm just gonna hit print. See what it does. Maybe it's the part where I haven't really aligned it and the paper's not really in there. So let me come back. So I had to run it through here and adjust those little blue things. And now it's saying, are there any missing segments? This is what we came up with. This is the quality of the print. To me, it could be a little bit, it's like jagged. So I'll just say yes, and we'll do it again. And it'll clean the printer head. I don't know how many times I have to do this. And then I'll proceed by pushing OK. And it's thinking I've got A4 size letter paper, but it is what it is. So it's not, it's 8x11, so I guess that would be letter paper. Maybe I got it set wrong, so we'll see in a minute. So I'm gonna print right there, and it's not gonna print. What it's gonna do right now, it's gonna clean the printer head, and it's telling me not to turn it off. So you are gonna have to do this in order to get a clear, distinct line. So I thought it was important to record this part. Okay, so this was the first print. That's the first one. And it's asking about missing segments. I don't see any. I cleaned the printer head anyways. And this is the second one. And it looks to me a little bit more defined. So I'm just going to leave it at that and go with that, since I really don't know. So now it's asking me, are there any missing segments? And I really didn't see it. It's more darker and more defined. So I'm going to push no here. And it says align position to fix missing alignments and branding. And I don't see anything that's missing, but okay. So I'm gonna push okay there. And now it wants me to load the paper again. And it's already loaded, so I'm gonna push print again. It's gonna print it one more time. So I didn't print it in front of me but one time. It's a brand new printer. I felt like I didn't need to, but it looks pretty defined. But we'll see. And it does tell me to check my ink, check your ink level regularly. And that's my ink level right there. So I think we're on the road to success of having it all set up.
Once we do this, then we'll go on and see if it actually can print on the sublimation paper, and we'll jump into that. Now, so it printed out these, and I have to choose the one with the most solid lines for each line that's given, and then you have to input it here on your panel board. And so I am on the last one, which is number 7, and it looks like me on my sheet, the one without lines, the most lines, is going to be number 4. So I'm just gonna push OK. It's going through a bunch of printer tests, and now it's here on this one. And I don't know if this is just a standard deal, but it wants me to choose the rectangles that are not separated or overlapped. Boy, this is getting interesting. After I did that, it says the printer head alignment is complete. Now I've gotten to a regular screen that says copy. And I've gotten to this particular screen now. So now I think I'm good to go, and I am ready to print on my sublimation paper. Okay, so as you see, I got this sublimation paper, and I am going to use the sublimation paper from Hippo, the same brand. And this one has 110 sheets. I thought that was more than enough. It also has the recommended instructions on the back along with another guide. So at this point, I'm going to head over and go and get my PNG file. And like I said, it does have the temperatures and instructions for any item that you wish to sublimate on the back of the printer paper box. So that's a great guide. All right, so now I'm going to go to Hippo Inc. and get to hippo.com and get the ICC profiles that I need to have a better color correction. At this point, I was stuck and I had to stop downloading the ICC files, and I'll come back with another video and show you how I ended up putting them on my device. All right, so now we're trying to print it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now we're printing. As I print, I'll come back when it's all done. At least we know, and I see ink. At least we know it is now printing. So I'll come back when it's done. So my print printed. First I'm gonna start with, this is my first mistake. I printed it on the wrong side. So when you print it, the lettering goes towards the back. So we can't use that. This is the very first one I did, and it came out kind of light, but I thought it was good. But the second print that I printed, it came out more distinguished, and there is more color this time. And the only thing is I did not move over the lettering. So I'm gonna do it one more time and move the lettering over so that it can actually look like the word. So I didn't size it right. I'll size it again. So I'll try again. So I learned really quick that the heat press was not on a sturdy table, and that I did press the shirt before I put the butcher paper in, and I pressed it again. And now I'm going to put the heat transfer tape on it with the image. Now I've taped my image down, and I'm going to press it for 38 seconds on 380 degrees. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I've already pressed it, and I'm kind of stuck. So I have transferred it. Let's see what we got. This, y'all, this is a Dollar Tree shirt that I got from the Dollar Tree. Even though I got a little bit of ink up there, I don't know where that came from. Maybe when I didn't tape it down all the way, maybe it moved. I think it did. But this shirt looks good. I didn't know if to wait or not, but I'm touching it. I don't think you're supposed to touch stuff, but it's dry. Now that's the quickest shirt I've ever made in my life. Wow. Okay, this is how you set up your sublimation printer, and oh boy, I feel relieved. All right, y'all, so I finished pressing out. I went ahead and wanted to give it a try on this particular shirt. This shirt came from the Dollar Tree as well, and it turned out rather snazzy. A little dark, you know, but blended right in with the material, 100% polyester. So that one turned out great. And look at that one. That was the first one with the little, we got a little bit of something right there. The ink, it smeared right there. But here's the one that I messed up when I didn't print the words. So without the words, it looks just as good. So we didn't waste anything. These turned out really nice. Super, super proud about that. I just, hey, we're going to keep on practicing and keep on having fun. And I suggest you practice with stuff that's not expensive. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this. Please turn on the notification bell so you can get more videos just like this. By the way, check out my last video and my last upload right there.